All right. I'm 2 minutes late for my live stream. What's up? What is up? What is up? All right. Prelude to last night. Whew. I had to delete that stream. I'll reload it. Oh, I was so bad. This one's going to be about as bad. It's okay. Whatever. Who the hell cares, right? I did a little bit. I didn't rewatch it. I just knew that I said 3 or 4 times I was going to delete it. So that was going to happen. Anyway, nice to see you all. That was fun in KK's chat. I loved it. KK, happy for the great news. If you're here, you are here. There you are. Hey, I see you. And Headless and Joe, D. I see you guys. Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. So I thought I would partially go talking and partially say Q&A. So I'll open up with a Q&A. Any question you have, I don't know if I can answer it. Probably can't. Maybe you don't have any questions. You guys are so smart. Maybe you're like, we don't really have anything we don't know about already, Bill. So just rant, and maybe I'll do that. But I'll open it up for Q&A. Just saying. Give it a shot. What's up, Nizawa? My buddy. Good guy. So, yes, there were Q drops over the course of the last day or two. What's up, Mel? There's Q drops over the course of the last day or two. I will bring them up and read them. At least today's Q drops. I'll read them because it's good. It's good stuff. You have a headache, so you're laying in bed in case you pass out. That's where you want to pass out, Mel, is in bed. So I hope your headache goes away. You should try Kike's remedy for sore throats. It's wine. It's good. Helped her. Such great news, KK. Wonderful news. Yeah, well, I'll pull them up here. Hang on. So when I pull this up, can't stand the taste. Oh, of wine? Really? You're not drinking the right, correct wine, Mel. Or maybe you hate it. I don't know. You could. Yeah. I bet I could find you a wine that you'd like, though. Mel, I'm sorry to your palate just is not as refined as us in Michigan and Indiana. We have very refined palates for wine here in the Great Lakes region. Just saying. How can you live on the West Coast, the Upper West Coast, and not like wine? How you're an anomaly. You have to be an anomaly. My God, what's up, Great Informer? Great Informer in the house. Comic Keeper Donner Blitzen. What is that? Prancer for Dancer. Yes. Yes, Robert Wallace. Tame the bear. Come at it softly. You do not have to go balls deep into the Cabernet Sauvignon group. You do not need to get into Pinot Noir. You know what I say, Holmes? Non da por you. You need Moscato. You need Prosciutto. You need, what'd you call it? What'd you call it? This is what man went by. Sparkling Mucasto de Aste El Bubbles. Always start with bubble smell when you're introducing yourself into the wine world. Start with bubbles, champagnes. You like the champagne? You should drink the champagne. You hate the champagne? Move on to white wines. White wines go very nice with chicken and fish. Try a chilled white wine. A sweet wine. Moscato. Prosciutto. You want to move into a red? It's going to sound silly. Try Lambrusco. It's a mixed red. It's kind of cheap. It's a nice red. It's a nice soft red. Pairs very well with nice like steaks and even burgers. Especially if you use like some peppercorn bacon with it and stuff and top them off. Just a nice. I know I'll catch shit for saying Lambrusco, but you know what? It's a nice table wine. It is. It's a nice table wine. It gets shit on all the time. But Lambrusco, pretty mild in the red wines anyway. When you're ready, you will graduate beyond the Pinot Grigios of the whites, which is very nice also, by the way. Chilled. Into the Pinot Noir, and then to the granddaddy of them all, Cabernet Sauvignon, my favorite wine, without a doubt. There's not even a close second. People go to Merlot, people go to blends, people go to this, people go to that. Give me a cab. I've had some of the best Cabernets out of a $6 bottle of wine, and I've drank $80 bottles, glasses of Cabernet, and you know what? It's all bullshit. It's all marketing. It's all marketing. You can get a fantastic, phenomenal Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon that's from South America, off the Chilean vineyards for $6 or $7, and it will knock your socks off with the flavor. Exploding flavor. Forward fruit. Pairs very nice with many cheeses. And water crackers. Because what would wine be without cheese and water crackers? It's good stuff. Anyway, I got you all warm and ready for my night, right? All right. Well, I'm obviously going into this entire thing unscripted, so bear with me. We'll get into it. Lots going on. I opened up Q&A. Any questions? No? It's cool. It's all right. I don't know if I would have a question for any one of you either, because I kind of feel like I know you guys. Is that weird to say? Kind of do. Hmm. What'd you drink, Joe Mama? I'm glad you didn't say it was cheap and it got me tipsy and pregnant. That's why I drank it. That's good. I see you now, Mr. Rohrbach, in the house. You're in the house. You're in the Bilmish house. I'm inviting you in. Cannot see my beautiful Christmas tree with all its presents. And all the stockings are definitely hung by the chimney with care, with just my wife and I. I don't know. We're in the middle years of our life. Our kids are growing up and we have no grandbabies. So, and not one of them lives in the house with us. So, we're getting ready for the party where we'll have about 30 people in this house. And this table that I do my live streams from, facing that way, it's a pretty good size table. I mean, it's kind of standard. It's an 84-inch solid wood top table with no leaves. It's a great table. And then actually, you guys know I have my baby grand piano right over there. And we'll put, what happens. Wait a minute. I don't even want to tell you about this. Anyway, stuff goes on top of that as we lay out a tablecloth. So it acts as actually a secondary table. It's usually where the hors d'oeuvres get eventually moved when they come off the table and the main course comes. So there's that. But I digress. Because the world is full of globalists trying to take over the globe. Don't let your world be run by Alex Jones and the globalists. I thought you said Hamas for a second. So just messing with you, Hamas. You be cool. You be cool. He-Man James, Holmes. James Bond. 007, license to murder, license to kill, license to take your life. James Bond. Everyone knows where they hide the booze, Mr. Ness. Yeah. Was there really? I don't remember that time, Joe. Ever. I don't think I ever had 85 people in my chat. Thanks, Great Informer. I appreciate that. I will actually, if I don't write it down, or no, I'll put it in my notes. Hang on. I'm just being real. Otherwise I won't. I appreciate that like crazy though. Thank you. I appreciate the shout out, or what you're trying to do for me, and I do appreciate that. All right, done. I'll check those channels out. Maybe not tonight. I'll try. I don't plan on going super late tonight. And I've gone way off base. I guess I don't really have an agenda tonight. So I kind of went down a weird road to begin with. But last night was kind of over the top and weird too. And I went on for an hour and a half, and it was, you know what? I'll make it unprivate. I'll re-release it because a couple of you have asked me or said that you were halfway through it, and that's right about the time I cut it off because I was like, just I'll reload it. I'll put it up here soon. I'll put it up for another day or two, and then I'm gonna take it down because not because of anything weird. It's just there's some states of mind that you don't want to see yourself in, and you know I had fun with it, but that was one of them. Every person has his limitations. Maybe that's where the book of Lamentations comes from. You got to have your lamentations. Anyway, hey Johnny O, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Coming into the show. All right, so I've been dribbling. I've been just spewing all over my lips with dumbness. I'll try to smarten up this live stream, see if I can bring it out, come up with an uppercut, see if we can't turn this into something that's educational for people. Try to bring it in. I don't even know why I went into that accent, but there you go. Anyway, give me a minute on that. Let's see if I can put something together. I have to think about it while I what's it called? I don't know. I just read the chat and go for a minute and see if I can get a hot button and go. Get a hot button and go. Well, that's super nice. Great Informer. Thank you. That is super awesome. And if nothing happens, I appreciate it for trying. It's great. It's great. Johnny O. Yeah. Cenk Unger. Cenk Unger. I'll never tire of watching him. I rewatch. I'm not apologizing. I rewatch his reaction on the presidential election night fairly often. Like every 6 to 8 weeks, it might show back up in my suggested feed and I rewatch it. It's the same reason that I watch the Our Movement speech, the speech that got Donald Trump elected. It's not exclusively the speech that got Donald Trump elected, but it is something that spoke to me so courageously in the face of the deep state that I could not deny this man's words. Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment designed only to enrich itself at the expense of you, the American people, which turns out to be what? The world, really. This is a global movement. It is taking out the globalist. Panic is real. The panic in DC is real. They're coming out and they are no longer in control. They are no longer in any kind of control of what's going on in this future. And that's why you're hearing all of the more ridiculous things that are being said about the president, even now. Last night, they released 100 and some odd page report trying to put him in direct correlation with money wire tampering or whatever the hell it is, wire fraud. Uh, because they are trying to shroud this impeachment vote, which is very much on the doorstep of Congress. In fact, today, if you've been watching YouTube or the internet or those channels that you like, if you've been watching them, you had to have seen that a lot of these first term, what do they call them? Freshman congressmen and women. So freshman congressmen um, have had to or have chosen to come out and publicly speak about where they're at this point on the impeachment hearing that's coming up. And I'm going to tell you something. If I was smarter at this computer stuff, I would play you a clip right now from the congresswoman that is just south of Lansing, which is about an hour and a half away from me. You know, the capital. It's about an hour and a half away from me. She gave her speech, and there were Trump supporters there, and they did not let up. They shouted her down. I will give her kudos for one thing. She got through what she wanted to say, despite all of the Trumpinites or battlers of freedom, whatever you want to call us. They're showing up, not only there, and they're shouting these people down. It's the very thing that Maxine Waters spoke about. When you see these people, you get in front of them and you form a crowd and you shut them down and you tell them they're not appreciated here anymore. That's the rhetoric that dragon woman spewed about President Trump. And this is while Kavanaugh was going on, the confirmation of Kavanaugh. You guys, including me, will have no idea how important 53 to 47 majority within the Senate meant. You'll have no idea for many years the gravity of what that meant. I've shared my feelings talking about how the House was allowed to win. They had to win. They had to win the House. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, that's the only woman that slurs more than me on a live feed. That woman. And plus, she got fake teeth. So, how bad am I? Anyway, she was shown on television when she was on Stephen Colbert's channel saying that we're going to win the House of Representatives. We're going to win it. Basically, I think this woman was told they're going to win it. And when she said it, he was like, isn't that like the kiss of death? How could you do it? She knew. You know why? Her, Chuck Schumer, all of them know that everything that they play out going forward is gamesmanship. It's gamesmanship. Why? It's because they've been told the end result of this. I think that they were all pulled into a room and said, listen, bitches, we know what you've been up to. And even though we'd like to take all of you MFers right now and just be done with you, get rid of you, we're not going to. We have the power to do that, though, at any point in time. What we are going to propose to you is a fair fight. So you get your little asses out there, and we're going to allow you to win the House of Representatives. And you get out there and you fight as hard against me as you know how to fight. And we will let the general public figure out who's right and wrong. The longer this goes on, the more that I see that this is probably exactly how it had to happen. They had to be allowed to have a voice. They have essentially taken themselves down. Their pride over what they're losing and what Trump is continuously just ripping apart everything that Obama tried to put up, ripping it all down. And he said, you guys fight for it. May the best man win. He could have arrested Hillary right after he was appointed president. He had all the evidence he needed. That's not what this was about. This was about the Great Awakening. It was about you internalizing it. And you guys, whether you want to believe it or not, are on a different level than a lot of people, no matter how you're feeling about life. And there, you know what? That gives us no path. We get no quarter in life over our circumstances. We go through things, we deal with things, but we do them from a position of servitude. We believe in equality. We believe in humanity and the rules that we were brought up in. We believe them. We didn't hear them a lot over the last 15, 20 years. But when we did hear them through President Trump and the patriots that elevated this man, when we heard them, they rang true. They rang true so that we would look over our shoulders and say, there's no damn way we're not supporting this guy. We have a moral compass leading the way, but not telling us how to live. That moral compass is Q. It has kept us on point. There is no malice within the message that Q has represented ever. It has all been about what? Transparency. From the very beginning, transparency. It is the one thing that has been lacking in society of not only America, but the world, is transparency. And this has been delivered back to us. Why? Because we have all been allowed to wake up. The only time you can get transparency is when you understand what the truth is. You have something to gauge it under. And we meet people every day, every damn day, that are delusional. They take 10 minutes of news. That's what they get. That's what they got. The people in the airports, they get CNN. Why? They have the contract on all the airports in America. All of them. CNN 24/7, not Fox, not any kind of other point of view. None. It's a narrative. And why airports? Because most airports have international business coming and going. It sets the narrative. Anybody that's here from a different country is walking through an airport. Well, if I'm hearing this everywhere I go, this must be the culture of the country. I'll fly back after my appointment and realize that Trump's the devil or the Republicans are the devil. Quite the contrary. The Republicans have been very stoic through what we've watched, not only over the past 3 years, but especially in the last 8 weeks. How they've handled these impeachment hearings. Isn't it funny to see crying Chuck Schumer try to turn the tables against the Republicans going into the Senate, assuming that this passes votes in the House to go to the Senate? Senator McConnell said it's dead on arrival. Senator Lindsey Graham said, we're not going to have an impeachment hearing. What's the pros? What's the cons? Do you think it's better that we have an impeachment hearing, all full blown out? Or has the Democrats, if you listen to any of it, they've already accused the Republicans of not calling witness. Basically, you are hearing the contradictory arguments that you heard from the Republicans, but not quite as passionate and definitely not as true. But you're starting to hear that leak out from the Democrats on the Senate majority, they are planning to try to hijack the Senate hearings with morals. They're going to try to ride the moral train. They're going to try to take the narrative away from Lindsey Graham. Now, the good news in all of this is that, yes, the IG report has been released, but there's other ammunition ready to go in case this starts going sideways in the Senate, which it won't. It's going to be a clown show out of the senators. It's going to be an absolute clown show. How they try to justify how they are acting the same way. Go back and watch the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. Listen to the Democrats and listen to the Republicans. All right. So dial that up even from that fiasco for them. They are playing for keeps right now. They know the Democrats, the deep state, and even those within the Republican Party that maybe haven't been quite rooted out yet, but they know that this is it. This isn't a board game where we pick the pieces up, put them back at start, and re-roll the dice and start a new game. It's not. This is their future. This is whether they have the ability to continue breathing oxygen on this planet. Because if they get accused and found guilty of what we already know, these people lose their life. They lose that beautiful gift that we were all for some reason given to come here and go through a life and go through all of these experiences, whatever this is meant to guide us to. I don't know. I think the beautiful words and wisdom of Christ in the Bible are wonderful. But do I think they're the be all end all? Man, I think so. These people worship Lucifer on the deep state. They sacrifice to Moloch. These people obviously believe in a power that they believe has allowed them to move things in this direction. But something happened. Maybe they didn't dumb down America as much as they should. Maybe they needed to try. Maybe that's the reason that Trump ran now. He put his foot in the water. He put his toe in the water, I should say, in 2012 to see what people would say about him. He didn't have it, you know. The Apprentice wasn't huge. It was big. It wasn't huge. The guy had gone through, you know, he was kind of in this 6 years, 5 years into a new marriage, you know, a new baby. Obama was going for his second term. It just wasn't right. But by the time it came around, that everything got laid out going into the 2016 election. Hillary Clinton running, the skank of Bill the Skank Clinton. These people are dirty as dirty comes. And I don't care what you want to try to. Is he a likable fellow? When you listen to him, likable, nice? Yeah, he's the cat's ass. He's pretty damn good. Same guy, same guy. But who cares about that shit? That is who they are. What I want to say is they are evil, terrible people that trample on anything that gets in the way of their political power, and then take that political power and they feast upon the ignorance and the youthfulness of those who have probably been kidnapped or maybe even birthed just to be human hump dolls. Call it what it is. I mean, they have baby manufacturing facilities within the deep state to grow these people up. Greta Thunberg, there's a prime example of something that could be a product of a Peachtree dish. And once it was allowed to live off its umbilical cord, was processed to come up with a narrative. Does she have a soul? I don't know. If she does, God willing, get into it. God, Jesus, get into it. Touch her heart. Have her do a 180. Is it possible? I believe it is. Why? Because if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you could tell that mountain to jump into the lake. I don't have that kind of faith yet, but I believe that there are many people that are greater than I am that have that kind of faith that could make that kind of commandment. But really, it doesn't matter because God's timing is not our timing. No matter how quick and slow and whatever we want to have happen with what we're witnessing, it is going at the pace and at the speed in which it has to go in order so that it's palatable. You have to be able to ingest it, dissect it, compartmentalize the different parts and portions of facts that come with everything that you're witnessing. You know, Q has often spoke about putting on the full armor of God. It's very funny. I'll share a story with you one day about that exact message, putting on the full armor of God. So that, and I can't repeat it exactly, or maybe even close, but so that when that day comes, you have the sword of justice, the cloak of something, the sword of truthfulness. I almost believe that if you look at what's going on within politics right now and the crazy notion that Donald Trump got elected and what he's done and what he's doing and the fact that he does now embrace God, I don't think it's a political move. I think he believes in a higher power, and I'm great with that. I do too. I think it's nuts that we could sit here and have these kind of thoughts and feelings, and that when this is all done and you're rotten or cremated or whatever you're going to do, and you're off this world, if you don't take these feelings and these things with you into the next realm, well, I guess it won't matter. It won't matter. I guess I won't care. I will cease to exist. But I believe that the kind of passion that comes out of things like love and hate and disdain and creativity, I gotta believe that you take these things with you wherever it is we go once we wear out these meat suits, right? Right? All right, quite a rant. Didn't read a lick of the chat. I just let myself go. 38 minutes. I guess it's all right. I'll stick around for a minute. I'll see if I got another one in me. We'll try. That's totally funny, actually, Johnny. I mean, we know God has a sense of humor, right? Otherwise, why would we laugh? Otherwise, we just all wouldn't laugh. He wants us to find humor. He wants to find flawed within us. Why? So that we can forgive ourselves and we can forgive people for being human. That's what they're trying to take away through the socialist program. That would be hilarious if Trump had been groomed to tackle the crooked and evil Democrats. It's more than just the Democrats, though. And I know that you know that, Johnny O. I know you know that. A lot of the Republicans have been purged out while the Democrats have showed up rank and file because Trump doesn't represent them. So they're putting everybody against him in the Democrats. But many Republicans have been relieved of their duty. And the ones that are there either have been exonerated or they're clean to begin with. There's another drop that's coming very soon about Ted Cruz in the FISA app, about the fact that they were spying also on Ted Cruz. I listened to Dave from the X22 report and many other channels, but I find him most credible. If you're not listening to X22 report, he puts out 2 different videos per day, and he'll do like whatever it is, 4,126A, and then he'll do 4,126B. The first episode has to do with the economic political news, which has to do with our US dollar. Okay. The second one, B, has to do with political and geopolitical news. And it ties in everything that we're watching and showing in real time with the Q movement. The B episode for political and geopolitical news is without a doubt my favorite channel on YouTube. And I love many, but without a doubt, I would highly recommend, if you've got it in you to sub to him or watch, you should. There's only one night a week he doesn't go. He doesn't put out videos on Saturday night. Otherwise, he's pretty much been consistent for the last 5 years. He's got an uncanny way of just reporting it how it is. Very, very talented in his craft, for sure. Hey, Food Stamp, I see you now. All right, I'm finally back to the chat. The chat. Food Stamp. Food Stamp, you got some fire in you tonight. What's going on? Man, I see you shitting all over Facebook. I can't join you because I don't belong to that. All right. Redneck Prepper. Sorry, I see you now. What's up, Redneck? And I do see you, Great Informer. I know I said that earlier, but D. I see you, DZ. Mel. I see you, Mel. It's so great to see you guys. You guys know how jacked I am to be going through this right now, understanding what I'm witnessing, being led, being guided, being shown. For me, what a privilege. It's like being an awake patriot in 1776. And you could minimize that and say it's nothing like that. And I get that too. That's a good argument. It's not. But really, when you get into the analytical thinking of this, it's very much like it. Except this time I think we're going to tear the Band-Aid off for good. For good. I think it's no coincidence that the Brexit went through before Trump was elected. I think it's no coincidence that Boris Johnson, who has now been elected in the UK to take them out of the Brexit and force a new trade deal with the United States. It's going to be great. Soon Italy will join and drop out of the EU until eventually it's cast to the wind. The EU is going away very soon. So if you have any of euros and money and cash, I mean, cash some of it out, but keep some of it. It could be like Civil War money. You know what I mean? something you can pass down. Like, here's the euro. They used to buy stuff with it, and eventually it turned into, you know, worthless. But that's readily available. Where's the future going? Well, who knows really? What's to come? There are things that we know that are to come. What's the future? Nobody quite knows. Are there things that are coming that we almost know with certainty are going to happen? I think so. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that Guantanamo Bay received a makeover and became much, much bigger. This plan is beautiful. You guys, this plan is going down exactly how they needed it to go down. You know what the best part of the plan is? I say the other stuff just kind of off the cuff, but the best part of the plan is that, and Q has told us this, but it's so very true that why get in the way of your enemy when they are destroying themselves? Trump and Q team and whatever this is has really done nothing but played defense. A lot of defense. Sometimes the best offense is a phenomenal defense. And I think that's being shown to us right now and has been. And the deep state, it has understood this for quite some time. They're in damage control. They are trying to set the narrative. They are already trying to set the narrative for all the impeachment shit to go into the Senate. We have stealth bombers. We have John Durham. We have Huber. We have Bill Barr. And we have Julian Assange. Don't forget about Julian Assange. We've been told basically we're getting Snowden back in 2020 as part of the trade deal with the Russians. And however you feel about the Russians, feel what you want. I agree with Trump. It's better that we at least are talking and have a relationship than it. We don't need another Cold War. I mean, all that does is sucks the money out of your bank account because it's all about raising defense spending. We don't need a Cold War. We need to have exactly what's happening happen. And not only in Russia, we need that everywhere. Everywhere. Is that people that hold the same type of rank as Bill Barr, the Attorney General, the highest form of law enforcement in the United States, the person in that position of authority all over the world is also contributing to the investigations that are going on. The world's awake. You guys, I know it might not feel like it, but this is really, truly about to just blow wide open. Don't miss it. The panic in DC is real. Even Chuck Schumer trying to premeditate, trying to enforce rules as the minority in the Senate judiciary, that he would try to mandatorily call 4 witnesses, which by law should not be able to be called within the Senate. This is supposed to take place within the House. Now, people may argue that Trump didn't allow them to talk. Well, guess what? It's been a witch hunt and a bullshit move ever since it started. They didn't allow the Republicans to call any fact witnesses. They allowed them 3 witnesses. But if you're trying to have an open and fair investigation, why is not everybody being allowed there? Why is it being held in the SCIF in the basement of the Capitol building? Why? Nobody should be sitting here going, well, I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they got an investigation on Trump. Are you kidding me? No, they got nothing. They are fabricating a narrative to feed the brainwashed across this great plain. Don't ever forget that. That's what they're spinning into your noggin. It's sad. It's true, though. That is exactly what they're doing. I feel great. There's many more that are hip to what's going on than aren't. The proof is in the global voice behind Q and President Trump, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. They know. They definitely know. So do we. It's a beautiful thing. Enjoy it, embrace it, love it. It's all coming to a head. Said that 1,000 times. It's all coming to a head. The Democrats are going to determine where we go next with this. They may not have the support. You should have seen the people rejecting the 31 Democrats in the Trump districts when they tried to come out today and say that they were going to support the 2 articles of impeachment, which, by the way, had to be made up because they didn't exist. I mean, this is the biggest shit show and farcical narrative of bullshit that has ever been put onto the American people or the world. The caveat would be 9/11. If we're going like in our lifetime, it's bad. It's so bad. You know what's crazy? We forget, or I do, that when 9/11 happened, you're talking like 19 years ago. So let's just say 20 years ago. Most of the people that are 20 to 25, 26, even to 30 that were young when it all happened, they don't understand all the inconsistencies within that day and what happened as we know now. And we do know differently now than what we were fed. We do know now the reasons that we were in that war from what we were fed. We do know now that there were no weapons of mass destruction. We know this now. At the time, we didn't. We ate it up. Why? We thought we were Americans. We don't step off out of moral high ground. We do the moral thing. We're going there to take care of business because our government tells us that the intelligence is good and that these people have these massive weapons that eventually they would launch onto the United States. That was the whole predicate for going in there. What an absolute sham. The whole thing has been a sham. That's the part that I'm looking forward to everybody waking up to. What's crazy is even Democrats look at 9/11 and go, yeah, we weren't told the truth. But they don't want to. I'm sorry for painting with such a broad brush when I say Democrats. All right, some of you are good, but a lot of you aren't. Or maybe you're good, but you're brainwashed. So even if you recognize that something was wrong with 9/11, can't you wrap your head around the fact that there could be something wrong in the future and that there was something wrong in the past with the Gulf of Tonkin and there was something wrong in the past with Pearl Harbor and there was something wrong in the past with the Lusitania? I mean, how many coincidences does it need to have in order for it to just be bullshit? These are major reasons, all of them, that we got into wars on a global world wars, where we sent our patriotic into bullshit lies to protect something that they never cared about to begin with. It's about chaos. It's about Marxism, start of the communism, start of the Soviet regime. It didn't stop there. They infiltrated. They were smart. They put people into our country. Many Germans today are living in our country that are not, they're spies and have created families in all of this, and they carry the Third Reich with them. I think all of this is going to be exposed. And I think a lot of them that probably have been here forever and created families probably are like, man, I love America. I love my family. I like my neighbors. I like throwing horseshoes on Saturdays. That's pretty fun. We'll get in the hot tub on Sunday, you know, jump into the sauna later, maybe jump in the pool, or sit back and shoot a game of pool, or maybe play some shuffleboard or something, you know. People of America want to be people of leisure. We love leisure. At least I do. I love leisure. I'm a man of leisure. There ain't no doubt. But I believe in working hard too. I mean, you can't really enjoy that stuff unless you know, get out there and get after it. You know, best you can, get after it. Then when you get to enjoy it, it's great. It's great. Going back's a bitch, but anyway, I really hope you all are doing well. KK, again, I'm very happy for your news. I guess you could say that probably is a miracle, and I think it's great that you got to talk about it. And I'm very happy for you and Scotty, because I know that you are probably his rock as much as he is your rock. And you know what? That's what it takes. That's what it takes. I'm not saying you can't get there without it, but it helps. And maybe all of us are each other's rocks too in other ways. And I think that's great. You know, I want to say something. Pardon me. We always raised our kids to, you know, pray. We took them to church, but we weren't like fanatical. We took them to church often enough to let our kids know that we believe in God and we pray to God. And we pray at every meal and that kind of stuff. But we weren't like, I certainly wasn't deacon material, nor was I trying to be. And that's not the point I'm trying to make. But we always kind of had a support around church, you know, and that kind of stuff. And I think it's good. I do. We had gotten away from it as the kids got older. Not the praying. The praying always happened as they were through high school. We always prayed at dinner, you know, openly. Dad and me. I would say an out loud prayer, and we'd eat, and we'd laugh and we'd joke, and sometimes people would swear, and nobody, you know, I mean, it wasn't this political correctness atmosphere that you see today, where you just can't sneeze or do anything without offending somebody. I think people need to get back to just being real with each other, you know, and it reminds me of that when I told you we have Sunday meals where all the girls come back with their dudes and we sit around the table and we have Sunday meal. Two of my three daughters today said that they started going, because they don't live at home, right? They're out doing their thing. Went back to church. just in the last week. I love that. That prodigal son returns. I love that. That something was lacking in them for whatever reason, for whatever anything, not from a lack of support from the family, because we could sit and talk about God and church and Jesus, and we can talk all about the New Testament, and I'll tell you, as much as I can, which is, the important parts. Maybe it's all important. I don't know. But I remember the really important parts, what come out of the Gospels in the book of Acts. I like the book of Acts a lot, but I appreciate the Old Testament too. I love the book of Exodus. Love it. And Genesis is pretty cool. So what do you do? I don't know. Don't be fanatical. Raise your kids. Have a conversation. But my heart melted when I heard them both say, and they didn't go to the same church. They didn't have communication to each other that, hey, we're starting to go back to church or any of this. They both went to different churches because they live 20 miles apart with their dudes, and for whatever reason, did it. It's great. I love that. I believe in it. I really do. If these people that are being taken down by the great patriots behind Donald Trump worship Lucifer, then there must be some sort of power or deep magic power that can be derived from being in with these demons and, putting, what have we been told? I mean, I don't know. The devil has been cast to earth. This is the devil's playground. All of that. Could there have been divine intervention? It seems to me that the devil's plans were going very, very much where they were supposed to go between the Obama to the Hillary presidency, which was, I think, the nail in the coffin, the final nail in the coffin. It's all been set up. But what's the one thing God always says? It's better to have a millstone tied around your neck than to basically mess with a kid. Donald Trump. Millstone. I don't know how else this plan works. I mean, if you're not a Christian, if you don't believe in God, how could you have a moral supremacy within yourself to begin with? I mean, just on the basis of right and wrong, what feels right? Well, guess what? The feeling of right comes from a feeling of divination from God the Father. Sorry to turn this into a Bible chat, but the will to do good, to be kind. Those are things that have been told to us through the fruits of the Spirit. Those are very positive things, and I battle with that a lot. I do. Not that I disagree with them. It's just that I don't always live up to what I'm supposed to live up to. So I battle with it. What do I do? I don't know. I think this plan has been designed to do exactly what it's supposed to do. I think you see a president that is very casual. I mean, if you listen to mainstream television, the sky is falling. This guy is up here giving speeches, talking, meeting with people, talking about this, talking about that. He's Mr. Casual. Why? Because patriots are in control. President Trump's demeanor should really honestly tell you everything you need to know about where we're at when you listen to all the herky-jerky bullshit out of the left, out of the Democrat deep state news media outlets, all of it. Man, my president is cool as a cucumber. Very cool. And he ain't stressing about nothing at all. Not even a little. I knew Donald Trump from being a celebrity, for being rich. I didn't hate him or like him from The Apprentice. Figured he's a billionaire. He's got a TV show, whatever. He is who he is. Honestly, don't think of him as like a bad guy, but he runs for president and then he comes out with our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment designed only to enrich itself at the expense of you, the American people. And he started talking about things that I started going, what? Excuse me, sir? Could you repeat that? No, he was very much on the pulse of America and what was going on, and had been debriefed. There's no question. And there's something called Project Looking Glass, which apparently, for whatever it goes through, maybe it's through computers or the algorithms or with how people chat and talk, and that they can somehow open up something for them to see the very immediate future based on the language that is out there and available. And I believe what Trump was shown was probably pretty mind-blowing. He maybe was told and informed, here's the truth. And then he was shown things that told him, give up your billionaire lifestyle and go fix this place. And by place, I mean the world. He is a nationalist, America first. But he ain't a Hitler by any stretch of the imagination. And the world knows us, and they are gravitating towards him and the message, which is all part of the plan. All part of the plan. 100%, right? Hey, Enlightened Jazz. I did say jerky. I did. I did. You heard yourself snore? Oh, I'm not doing a good job of keeping you awake, Mel. I'm failing. Pretty sure I can't ever say the word failing unless I'm talking about Joe Biden. He is failing all the times, people. Well, there you go, Redneck. Yes. All right, so I kind of went off a deep end for a while, right? I just did. But I feel confident that I will leave this stream up. It got a little off the rails last night. I just had to get rid of it. I slept on it. I'm like, when I'm done, I'll open it up for like 12 hours. Okay. As soon as I end this chat, I'll open that one up and just put it public. 12 hours, and then I'm going to kill it. Just so those of you that said, hey, I got cut off halfway through, you guys can watch it, which I don't know. All right. Either way. Thanks, D. I appreciate that. It was a fun rant for me. Sometimes I do just, well, no, that's actually every time. I like catching a rant though. It's like catching a wave. If you're a surfer, I don't surf, but I got to feel like it's like catching a wave, and you just got to kind of go out there and test the water, and eventually something just, and you just catch the wave. And that's what I like doing. Because I'm not sure we all know how we feel until we start talking about it. Maybe you do. Or maybe you think you do. But maybe you don't know until you start talking about stuff, and eventually you find your gear, right? You do. Oh, thank you, Headless. Thank you, man. That makes me feel good to hear. Thank you. I believe it. Believe me, I believe it. I don't want to be snowballed. I don't want to be. I absolutely believe in what we're watching. And we don't know the timing, but this shit's getting closer and closer and closer to being done because it has no choice. It has no choice. This should only get more and more fun to watch as we go on. They will be louder. They will be crazier. They'll be more intense. They will whip more and more slander against the president. It's going to be relentless and it's going to be beautiful because you'll know it's coming. And when you hear people say, I don't know, Trump, I don't know, they got him here, they got him nowhere. Why? We've already been told. You're watching a movie. This goes in the direction that the Patriots want it to go. Period. That's my Joe Biden. Or no, he's period. Period. That's Greg Gutfeld's. But Joe Biden likes to say period. He'll be done. We've also been told that when this is finished, it will be the death of the Democrat Party. So I don't know how that all shakes out because, I mean, what party will replace it? Something, but whatever happens here, this fiasco is going to just be a gigantic pie in the face to the Democrats. And by pie in the face, I mean it's unrecoverable. It's the worst pie in the face you could have. The no recovery pie. Can't recover from the pie that comes in the face of everything you've been throwing at this dude. You're done. You're washed up. We've been told. We've been shown. It's going to happen. I believe that. How many times should things happen before they're both mathematically and statistically impossible? Well, I don't know the exact number, but we've been shown that we reached that milestone many months ago, and maybe even a year or two ago, maybe a year. And it's true. It's not just because it was said. For people that have followed the Great Awakening, the movement, every Q drop that has dropped since the day it dropped, we see very clearly that it's mathematically and statistically impossible for all of this to be where it is right now. You might look at what I said and say it's bullet points, it's this and that. It's not. It's fact. It's true. When you say, how do you know? What do? Point at the Q drops and say, go back to fucking first one, bitch, and read up and watch all of the intellectual shows and listen to all the talking heads and listen to all the pundits and listen to every scholar and every person on every channel that's ever had anything to say about any of this over the course of the last 4 years, all the while being fed Q drops. And when you get to that point, Junior, come tell me how it's all speculation and bullshit. The reality is that none of them have the will for all to even try to mount that kind of argument. And you know what? I don't blame them. Why? They're wrong. And I think deep inside them, they know they're wrong. But they hate this guy. They hate this president. They hate his guts. Good times we're living in, you guys. They're phenomenal, to be honest. Don't run from them. Embrace them. And if you're not proud yet, President Trump is going to make you very proud one day. that's it tonight. I love you guys. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to pray. I'm out.